Good morning students, welcome to the next class. So in the last class we have started the large sample test. So under large sample test, the first test we have started is the test of significance for the single proportion. So we have discussed that in the last class. Suppose you have an attribute A and there are n persons. So among those n persons, we will be checking whether the presence or the absence of the attributes. So which results in the x number of success in n trials. So all the trials are independent, every person is independent. So out of total n independent trials, x number of success means here x follows binomial with n comma p, where expectation of x equals to np and the variance of x equals to npq. And we have defined our null hypothesis H0 as p equals to p0. So some specified value, that means the sample proportion is coming from the population proportion. So just we are writing that sample proportion is coming from population. So in null hypothesis we write there is no difference, right? So no difference between the sample proportion and the population proportion. That means the sample proportion is coming from the population proportion. This we denote it as p equals to p naught. Against the alternative hypothesis can be written as p naught equals to p naught, or p greater than p naught, or p less than p naught. So there are three possibilities of writing the alternative hypothesis. Either it be p naught equals to p naught, or p greater than p naught, or p less than p naught. Now I said that here x follows the binomial distribution with n comma p. We have this one. Now coming to the sample proportion. Now we are dealing with the proportion only, right? Single proportion. So sample proportion, it is denoted with small p, which is equals to x by n. So x by n means the proportion is given as number of success divided by total number of values. Now we have to formulate our test statistic. So what is generally the test statistics? Let the proportion of the sample p, we know it is given as, let p equals to x by n. That is the sample proportion or the proportion of the sample. Now we know what is the test statistic. Generally the test statistic is given as so what is the general test statistic? Z equals to t minus expectation of t by standard error of t follows the normal distribution with 0, 1. So here what is t? What is the statistic we are going to test? The single proportion, which is denoted with p. So here what will be the z value? Z equals to p minus expectation of p by standard error of p follows normal with 0, 1. So now we know p value is x by n, but we don't know the expectation of p and the standard error of p value. So now we'll find those values. First, expectation of p. So consider expectation of p. So what is p actually? X by n. So it is equals to expectation of x by n. So here n is constant, right outside, 1 by n expectation of x. So what is expectation of x value? We have np. So substitute it 1 by n into p. So n and n gets cancelled. Therefore expectation of p equals to, expectation of small p equals to capital P. Now we have to find the standard error of p. So coming to the standard error of P, which is equals to, how to find the standard error? Root over variance. Root over variance of P is the standard error. So first find out the variance of P. So consider variance of P equals to variance of, what is the P value? P value is x by n. So variance of a constant, we know it is a square, which is equals to 1 by n square. Variance of x. So since here x follows the binomial distribution, the variance of x is npq. So this is equals to 1 by n square into n into p into q. N and n gets cancelled. Therefore, variance of p equals to pq by n. Now the standard error, substitute this value in the standard error. The standard error of P equals to root over variance is PQ by N. Now we got the required expectation of P value and also the standard error of P values. So now by substituting, now the test statistic. Now the test statistic is given as, so what is the test statistic? Now the test statistic is given as, substitute these values, z equals to small p, that is proportion, minus expectation of p value, we got it as capital P, which is the population proportion or the probability, small p minus capital P divided by standard error of P. Standard error of P value, we got it as square root of PQ by N, which follows the normal distribution with 0, 1. So now this is the general test statistic. Now we will be writing the test statistic under the null hypothesis, because we are going to test under the H0 only, right? So that's why we write the test statistics. So under H0, means under H0 what we have written? P equals to P0. So under H0, P equals to P0, the test statistic is given as, so under H0 the test statistic is given as z equals to small p minus P0 divided by square root of P0 Q0 by N, which follows the normal distribution with 0, 1. So where Q equals to, we always know Q equals to 1 minus P. Similarly like that, Q0 will be equals to 1 minus P0. So here P0 means it is some specified value of P. So this is the procedure. First is, we have defined what is single proportion. So then we have written a null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. Then we have to specify some level of significance. Then we have to derive the test statistic. So here it is single proportion. So based on that single proportion only, we will be deriving our test statistics. Then write down the same test statistics under the null hypothesis, so that the test statistic will be completed. Now the last part is, we have to write the inference. Inference means, so copy everything, that is the conclusion part, which is known as the inference. So how we will be writing the inference? Inference is nothing but the conclusion. So first we calculate mod z. So first we calculate mod z, which is called as the mod z calculated. Then we have to consider the z critical value. Then we get the tabulated value of Z at alpha percent level of significance, which is known as Z alpha, or you can write it as Z tab. So how you make the conclusions here? If mod Z calculated is greater than Z tab or Z alpha, we reject the null hypothesis. Otherwise, if mod Z calculated is less than or equals to Z alpha, or you can call it as Z tab, we accept the null hypothesis. So this is the procedure for testing the single sample, single proportion. Now we'll discuss a problem related to the single sample. So copy the notes properly. If you write one procedure, all the procedures will be similar. So write down carefully all the notes. If you understand single proportion, obviously double proportion will be easy. So if I say theoretically, this you may be feeling a little difficult. Now if we do a problem, you will get an idea. Now coming to the first question. The question is, a dice is thrown 900 times and a phase of 3 or 5 is observed 335 times. So a dice, we know dice is thrown 900 times. So out of 900 times, a phase of dice. So the phase 3 or 4, either 3 or 5. They said both, either 3 or 5 is observed 335 times. So out of total 900 times, 335 times you got either 3 or 5. So now we have to test whether the dice is unbiased or not. So this one we are going to check it out by using the proportion, because out of total n trials, 335 success. So X success among n trials. So nowhere in your questions they will specify which test you have to use. By seeing and observing the problem, you have to decide our question is based on which type of question, which test you have to apply. So here if you observe, you are finding the proportion here, that is X number of success in total n number of trials. That's why we use the single proportion. So only one sample values are given, that's why we use the single proportion test of significance. Now coming to the solution. First write down the given values. Given n equals to total number of independent trials. So how many trials they made? Total 900 trials. So out of that 335 are success. So X equals to number of successful trials, that is 335. So when X and N are given, you can find out the P value. P equals to sample proportion equals to X by N. So P equals to 335 divided by N, 900. So 335 divided by 900, we get the P value. So at present you keep it like that, we can substitute in the test statistic directly. Next, first we have to define the probability of getting 3 or 5, the probability of success. We want capital P and capital Q values, right? So what is capital P equals to? Probability of getting success. Probability of getting success. So what is the condition here for success? Of getting 3 or 5. So we know whenever you throw a dice, all the outputs independent and disjoint of each other, right? So or always or indicates A union B. If suppose getting 3 is the event A, getting 5 is event B, then we will be finding probability of A union B as probability of A plus probability of B. Since they are disjoint events, we don't have any intersection. So probability of A means getting 3. So getting 3, how many are the chances? One chance out of total 6 outcomes. Plus getting 5 also one chance out of total 6 chances. That is equals to 2 by 6. So you have to remember all these values, small basics. Now the probability of getting 3 or 5 equals to 2 by 6. So therefore capital P equals to 1 by 3 and Q equals to 1 minus P, which is equals to 1 minus 1 by 3. So therefore Q equals to 2 by 3. Now we have to formulate our null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. First, null hypothesis. So for what we are going to do the tests of significance? To test whether the dice is unbiased or not. So in the first, in null hypothesis, what you will write? The dice is unbiased. So unbiased means there is no difference between there is no cheating in that dice. So first H naught such that, so here what is dice is unbiased means what is the P value we are going to write? In the procedure I have written P equals to P naught. So if it is unbiased, what you have to get the probability? P equals to 1 by 3. So write down H naught such that P equals to 1 by 3. That is, the dice is unbiased. Now write down the alternative hypothesis. So alternative hypothesis H1. So here what they ask, the dice is unbiased or not. Here nowhere you are getting the condition that less than or greater than. Here the dice is unbiased. Here the dice is not unbiased. Not unbiased means P not equals to 1 by 3. So whenever you get not equals to in the alternative hypothesis, that is regarded as the two-tailed test. So by seeing the alternative hypothesis only, we decide the type of test, right? So here P equals to 1 by 3 is the null hypothesis. Alternative we are going to write P not equals to 1 by 3. That is two-tailed test. That is, the dice is not unbiased. Not unbiased means it is biased. So there is a difference in the dice. So after writing the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, next we have to write the test statistic under the null hypothesis. Test statistic under the H naught. So under H naught, what is the value? P equals to P naught equals to 1 by 3. So what is the P naught value we have here? 1 by 3. So what is the general test statistic? Z equals to small p, that is proportion, minus capital P naught divided by under root P naught Q naught by small n, which follows the normal distribution with 0, 1. Now substitute all the values. So first here Z equals to, what is the proportion value? 335 divided by 900. So you can directly write the answer also, or you can simplify here also. Minus P naught. What is the P naught value? 1 by 3 divided by under root P naught Q naught by N. What is P naught? 1 by 3 into Q naught 2 by 3 divided by N. N value is 900, which follows the normal distribution with 0, 1. Now simplify this one, solve it. So simplify it. 335 divided by 900, it is 0. So Z equals to 0.3722 minus 1 by 3, 0.333 divided by 1 by 3 into 2 by 3 is 0.2222 divided by 900. So this is under square root, which is equals to, so numerator 0.3722 minus 0.3333, it is 0.0389 divided by square root of, so simplify this, 0.2222 divided by 900, it is 0.0002. Now find the square root of that answer. So Z equals to 0.0389 divided by square root of that answer is 0.0157. Now numerator 0.0389 divided by denominator 0.0157, it is 2.477. So this is the Z value. That means we got our required Z calculated value. So after getting the Z calculated value, now write down, we calculate the, now next step we have to do the conclusions and comparisons. So in conclusion and comparison, what is the first thing? We have to write the mod Z calculated value. So mod Z calculated is equals to, so anyhow this is a positive value, so it is the same 2.477. Now we have to find the Z alpha value. Z alpha is the critical value. So Z alpha value means here Z alpha value or Z tab value, Z tab at, here the level of significance is not specified in the question. If the level of significance is given, whatever the significance is given, that level you have to consider. If nothing is given, you consider 5%. So Z tab at 5% level of significance for the, which tail test is it? Two-tailed test. For two-tailed test, is, so in the last class I have given you the table. In that table we have different types of tests, that is two-tail, one-tail and a one-tail left and right tail also. So from that table you check the 5%. So in 5% at two-tail, that is second column, first row second column, you will be having the value. So Z tab at 5% level of significance for two-tail test, it is 1.96. So which implies Z alpha value equals to 1.96. Now compare this one, mod Z calculated. What is the mod Z calculated value? 2.47 is obviously greater than the Z alpha, that is 1.96. So if the calculated value is greater than table value, what is the decision we are going to write? Always when calculated is greater than table value, we reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, reject the null hypothesis. So reject null hypothesis means, which implies we have to accept the alternative hypothesis H1. So under H1 what we have written? Reject null hypothesis means the dice is unbiased. So if you are rejecting null hypothesis, you are accepting the alternative hypothesis. That is, what is the alternative hypothesis? The coin is not unbiased. So therefore, the coin is not unbiased. So here, not unbiased means the coin is biased. So there is some difference in the dice. The dice is not unbiased. So there is some difference in the dice. So it is not an unbiased dice. So in this way we are going to solve the problems related to the one proportion. So in the next class we will continue with the few more problems which are based on the single proportions.